Okay, we are going to create a discussion board, and I am now in sixth grade in Unit 2, Week 1, and I have already opened up the weekly video that I would play for my students, and I'm in all the resources, so you would do this from your ConnectEd.
Contributions. What contributions were made by early civilizations? People in ancient civilizations developed several ways of communicating information and keeping historical records. The ancient Egyptians carved hieroglyphs in stone or on clay tablets. The symbols developed in Phoenicia to represent the sounds of speech evolved into the alphabets used in writing many languages around the world, including our own. Today, we can write to one another by transmitting information electronically.
Okay, I'm not going to play all of that, but as you can see, this is building background knowledge for that student around the essential question. You can even put the closed captioning on, which I think is awesome for students to be able to have that going as a UDL just general practice. So our question with the weekly opener is, what contributions were made by early civilizations? That gives them a great start. You can prompt them in a discussion to continue that essential question for the weekly opener. So let's go to our discussion board, and we're going to add, and by now hopefully you've got unit 2 built, and you want to add a discussion, and we're going to call it unit 2 essential questions. So you could have this be week 1 discussion, week 2 discussion, week 3, week 4, and build all 4 questions into this discussion board for a whole unit. And you're going to type however you want to format that into that description for students. Click save. And there it is. And that's the icon for all the essential questions that students are going to have. So I'm going to set the date for the day that I'm going to start that unit, so that when my students go to their dashboard, that discussion shows up under their activities that you want them to participate in. And this is, again, whole group. You're going to facilitate this during that whole group, at least in this example. It may be a station that you want them to follow up with, depending on what thread you want to start. So my subject in my first thread is going to be about what contributions were made by early civilizations. And I want them to respond here with what they got from that background knowledge video or what they think they already know. It's almost like an online KWL chart. And you're going to type what you want them to respond with here, and that will show up as the initial thread. Now students can go in and reply. And then let's say, Johnny has a great response here. A student can reply directly to that student's response or add to the thread in general. So it can be collaborative table talk. It could be responding individually. You need to set the expectations for what that discussion board looks like in your own classroom. And then if you want to add a new thread for the second week, you just go to, go to week 2 in sixth grade, and the next essential question is, how did democracy develop? And that's the next question. And then you have this running record of what students are developing in their knowledge of that essential question. And it's also a place that they can go back to for previous thoughts and say, oh, I thought this, and now, I'm thinking this, and edit their discussion as they get more involved with the shared reading and the leveled reader and the different information that they're gathering. And by the time they get to the research and inquiry, week 6, they're going to have a great conversation between their classmates that they can refer to. And that's how you make a discussion board.